back on the schedule. So thank you very much for coming to the session and giving up your long lunch break just for me. My name is Mona. I'm a National Geographic teacher trainer, but I'm also a teacher. I teach students from young learners all the way up to adults. So I have a vast experience of teaching and teacher training. You've read pretty much everything on the program probably about me. But I'm very happy to be here today, and with National Geographic Learning, I travel around meeting teachers from all over the world, which is just absolutely amazing. And one thing that stands out about teachers all over the world, that they're all going through the same things. They're all facing the same challenges, they're all enjoying the same sort of activities, and it's just really wonderful. And as of today's experience with teachers so far in the different presentations, and I think it seems like the people here in Morocco, whether they're from Morocco or they're foreign, have also going through the same thing, so it's absolutely wonderful. Today I'm here to talk to you about the power of the image. I think we've used images in our classrooms for a very, very long time. What sort of images do you use in your classrooms? Everybody, I think, uses images on one sort. What sort of images? Would anyone like to tell me what?
Pictures of food, for example.
Pictures? Just pictures of food, yes?
Movie posters.
Movie posters, yes?
Pictures to activate the schemata at the beginning of every class.
Absolutely. Pictures to activate the schemata. And flashcards. Flashcards, yes, for your young learners that we use a lot. So we've been using these images for a long, long time, but hopefully I'm going to give you a bit of a different look about using images in the classroom. And hopefully today you will take away lots of ideas that you can use immediately in your classroom. And I think the National Geographic books are very well known for their images as well, as you well know. But more so, we find ourselves using images on a daily basis. Even with our Facebook, Instagram, I don't know what else you call them, Twitters and all those modern technological social sites. And we use them every day. Even in the talks today, everybody was taking pictures. They were putting them online for other people to share with other people. So images have become very, very powerful. Once upon a time, advertising agencies used to use images, and it was really something special. But now, advertising agencies even have to think of something really out of the extraordinary to catch our attention, don't they? Now, I'd like to try something with you, just very quickly. I'd like you to look at this image and not at me. And I'm going to read you something. This is out of a listening comprehension activity. Okay, I just want you to focus on the image for a minute. Although there are few true Kazakh nomads left, most have given up their traditional nomadic style in favor of a more settled existence. One of their most famous traditions still endures, that of eagle hunting. Eagle hunting is an art that dates back to the days of Genghis Khan, wrapped in warm clothes and fur hats to fend off the cold. Eagle hunters can still be seen riding their small ponies across the plains of western Mongolia, tracking foxes and other small mammals. An eagle hunter spends 10 years with each bird, training it, and with great skill and patience, forming an intimate working relationship, even sharing with it the meat of the animals it kills. This kind of imagery that goes with the listening is called the pictorial superiority effect, because it's been proven that if you have an image with whatever you hear, you can retain it about 70% more than if it's just a listening or if it's just an image. So the combination of those, and I'll bet you next time that they'll hopefully send me, boss, to Morocco, you will tell me, oh, I remember that story that you told me about the eagle hunters. Yeah? So, I mean, this is something that we need to get the students while they're listening to try and maybe visualize what they're listening to help them remember better. We've all know students that are visual, more visual, kinesthetic, or auditory, and we've seen this in many of our classes, we've thought about it, we've tried to change our teaching accordingly, but it is fact that 65% of the students or the people are more visual. They're more visual, so when they see a picture, they'll remember better. And this is through research, that's it. And that's probably no wonder that usually you tell them something and they'll say, yes, I see, even though you've told them and you haven't showed them. So this is how much it works. So here, this is when we see someone say something or an image of some sort, and the back here, the red part, is the visual cortex. So this is the first thing that's activated when we see an image, is the visual cortex. And what happens here, and this is again, yes, I see, whether you're imagining an image or you're actually seeing an image, it's the same thing. That's the first part of your brain that's activated. So James Zell has done, he's a professor who has done many different, lots of research, is well known for brain research, and he's applied his knowledge to language learning. And what he said is that in our minds, our life is a trail of images, one leading to another. Our brain senses the world, but our mind comprehends it. And the vehicle that carries us along the journey is the image. And this is how he says it happens. He's come up with the learning cycle, what he's called the learning cycle. And first of all, our brain gathers information just like I showed you before. Okay, through the image it gathers the information that it sees. Then it's the reflecting process. And this reflecting process is when they associate what they've seen with their background knowledge. This is the longest process for anyone. This takes the longest time for them to process. Then they have to create, they have to analyze it. They have to analyze what they've seen. They have to sort of make sense of what they've seen. Break it up, try and make sense of it, evaluate what they've seen before they can produce it, whether in speaking or in writing. And that probably explains why a lot of children, a lot of students are a bit slower at responding. Like you talk to them and they need to think a bit more. Some of them take a longer time to think and to produce. So as teachers, it's important that we remember that and give them a bit more time and see if that makes a difference, yeah? So for those of you who are more visual, this is how it works. Gathering information, reflecting on it, creating, and then by the time it gets to the testing, then they can produce and talk about what they've already seen. Yeah? So that makes a lot of sense in our language classroom and how important, why the image helps so much. Of course, we can help our brain get faster at this, get to work a bit more. By learning, makes the brain work harder, and it increases the density. And it is said that also emotion plays a big part, although it hasn't actually been verified as such, but they're in the process of doing that. That emotion of thought, when you see something, how you feel about it, is also involved in that. Now, who remembers this picture? Hands up if you remember it. Yes, that's one of the classic National Geographic pictures that won many awards. Yes, if those of you who don't remember, you're probably very young, that's why. But that's fine. So this Afghan, it's called the Afghan girl. It's an image that won many awards. It's one of my favorite images as well. Now, who can guess who that man is? It's the photographer. Yes, that's right. Well done. And he's a photographer. Now, National Geographic, are you teaching the book? No, I'm just kidding. That's wonderful. National Geographic Learning decided to send him back to Pakistan to find this young girl, which he eventually did. And she remembered him taking a picture of her when she was about, I think she was 16 at the time. And this is her image of what she looks like now, that she's married and she has her own kids. But it's, I mean, sometimes you see these images and you say, I wonder what happened to them, so it's kind of powerful that way. Where's this? Dubai, yes, in Dubai. So this is sort of a thing, also brings culture into the classroom, is what we try to do, and tell people what Dubai actually looks like. It's not all desert, as many people say. It's very, very educational as well, to bring the world to the classroom. So what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversation? Some of you might remember, if you remember The Afghan Woman, you might remember Louis Alexander's books many, many years ago that were black and white with cartoons. The images were all cartoons. There were no such elaborate images. There were no such color to attract the attention. Louis Alexander, best-selling books, black and white. Yeah? So we've come a long way since then. The teaching has changed a lot. The students have changed a lot. Students, we have to think of many different ways to get their attention, to get them interested in the classroom, into the topics. They're much more difficult. They're all sitting there on their computer games most of the time. So we need to grasp their attention in the first page of every unit so we can keep them engrossed in our classes. So, most course books look like this, not National Geographic course books. Now, what do you think this picture is, what is supposed to portray? Youth, maybe? Anything, other ideas?
Colleagues.
Friends, colleagues?
Group of singers.
Group of singers?
Family, siblings.
Family?
Positive energy.
Positive energy? Mm-hmm.
Purity.
Gender rights? Yeah, somebody in my last seminar told me Colgate diet. But yes, I mean, this is taken off the internet, just a picture of friends that's which is very typical of many, many course books, but we prefer to show pictures of friendship that look more like this. Pictures that can instigate emotional response. Now, using images like this, if they're this powerful as this image is, we can do many, many different things with it to get the students engaged in the classroom. For example, how about if we interview one of them? We can put them in pairs and do role plays. Yeah? They can interview each other to tell the story. For homework, they can tell the story. How did they meet? How did they become friends? How long have they been friends for? What do they do every day together? There's lots of things that you can do with a story. Now, can we take it out of the classroom into their communities?
Sure.
Absolutely, yes. So they can talk about their friends. They can talk about their parents' friends. Many of us admire some friendships. Actually, I admire my friendships because I'm much older than all of you, but my friendships are just absolutely wonderful. I've had my friends since I was a little girl, so many of you might be the same. So, but you don't see that on a daily basis. Not everyone's so lucky to have friends, such a strong friendship. So we can from one picture, we can make 3 lessons really. Okay? It's nice to do an icebreaker. It's nice to do something different. Break the routine a bit. Get their interest again in the classroom. And sorry, but we can also get them to take pictures of their friends or people of friendship, different friendships. They can use their cameras. They can use their phone. This is my second favorite picture because it's so authentic, really. It's so authentic, it's so true, it's so real. It's kids having fun. They are really laughing with all their hearts. Now, do you think they can write a story about this?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
What are they laughing about?
What are they laughing about?
Who they're looking at.
Who are they looking at? Fantastic, yes. And what about if you can start it for them. You can give them the beginning or the end sentence, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can help them out a bit, but I think they would really, really enjoy that. So that's another thing you can do with the images. Engage their interest. So this kind of generation, it shows because they have very strong traditions there, don't they? So it might be actually that she's having sort of an argument of something that her parents disagree with, something, maybe she wants to go to a party, maybe she wants to do something. But one great thing that you can do with these images is do something like a 2-minute free writing activity that's not going to be graded. You know, kids get really tired of just being graded for everything. Let them get the flow of the writing. Let them just do it, you know, they can write for 2 minutes without their names on it and give it in to you. You can start it with some free writing. Let them write a story about it. Let them write a paragraph about it. Yeah, it's really fun to do. Now, to stimulate discussions, especially in countries that don't have snow and very, very, very cold weather like this, they're probably wondering, how do they feel? How did they feel before? How do they feel after? Talking about feelings in general, it sort of instances what they would do in that situation. Put yourselves in the situation. What would you do? Yeah? Relate it to themselves. Imagine you're in the photo. What can you hear and smell? Is this something you'd like to do? Okay, this is actually on a video, but you know, it's before and after, before you watch, after you watch, but you can do it as an activity on its own as well. Now, extend knowledge of the world. Now, this is an interesting image, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to come to this side of the room because I've been picking on everyone here. So, what can you tell me about this image? What do you think? What can you see, first of all? Some people sleeping, yeah?
Different ways?
In different ways.
Yeah.
On maps.
We have, sorry? We have some empty places, some people are missing. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? I've got your curiosity going, don't I? That's interesting. So these kind of places, this is actually taken in China. And it is, these are parents of the children that are going to university.
They're waiting for them?
No, sort of. They're allowed to stay in the school gym. They're given a mat to sleep on in the school gym, waiting for their students for the first 2 weeks of university. So this is a really cultural difference, isn't it? Those of you, some of you may be parents, and you think, oh, I would have liked to go with my kid. I'm not sure if the students want them to go along, but this will make the students very happy, the parents very happy to go along with their students for 2 weeks, for the first 2 weeks of university, and the university actually gives up the gym space for them. So this is culture. This is bringing different cultural ideas, traditions into the classroom again. Now, it says reverse graffiti. So we can see this was taken in Sao Paulo. Why do you think they call it reverse graffiti?
Well, because they're covering up graffiti with some artwork.
Maybe they're covering up graffiti with artwork?
Taking off paints for the lights.
Taking off paint? Yeah, you're very close. You're very close, yes.
When they draw in the dirt.
Exactly, yes. So this is I'm gonna tell. This is taken in a tunnel there where it's all soot. It's all from all the fumes. It's all soot. It's black. The whole tunnel is black. And the artist in protest decided to carve into the soot to make graffiti. Of course, graffiti is illegal. So, of course, he was taken to court. But he kept on doing it. He kept on doing it until finally they did clean up the tunnels. And they have nice white clean tunnels now. But it shows how it's very interesting that he even thought of doing that to fight for something. But also, we could give the students keywords to any image, keywords that they need to do, and ask them to retell the story. They can do it in a pair work activity. They can do it in a written activity. You can choose. They can we don't want them to take their books with them and copy it out. We want to give them the key words, the new vocabulary they've learned. But But if they find it difficult or you have some weak students, you can also give them some help. Yes? You're not going to tell them how to write. You've told them the story, they've read it probably in the class, they've listened to it on the CD. You can give them some help to help them retell the story. And more help. Yeah? So, teaching vocabulary, new vocabulary. Now, many ways. What can we do to teach vocabulary in this image? Someone said? Matching pictures with words, maybe? Mm-hmm.
Find a pair of
Find this, find that.
Yeah.
How many things can you find, maybe? But also, this is actually used about plastics. How much plastic is in a household? This family decided to put all the plastic they have in the house out on the lawn. So how much can they see? And it's making people aware as well as how much plastic is used. Now, teaching for the higher levels, teaching vocabulary and collocations. Yeah? Now, which one of these do you think mostly suits this picture that you see? You can think about it, you can talk to your friend about it if you want. Are you agreeing on it? It's difficult to agree on it, but isn't that a great parent activity? We don't want them to agree, we want them to disagree, and we want them to talk about it in English. I think they have a strong bond. Well, I disagree. I think they're just they're not blood relatives, that's for sure. but the odd couple maybe. Yeah, but using something like this, don't you think they could actually as well take it out of the classroom? Yes, please.
I think this can raise a discussion, and we'll have different opinions.
Absolutely.
And each one is going to argue why is it this or that.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I mean, we use these. I mean, it's just a simple image, but it can cause a lot of debate in the classroom. Okay, so debate is something we can get out of beautiful images like this. It's such a simple image, but so powerful. Yeah, it's such a powerful image to use in the classroom. But can they take it out of the classroom? Can they take these out of the classroom?
Yes.
Can they bring back pictures? Can they take photos
Yes.
of an odd couple, true friends, a passing acquaintance? And I think most students also have access to internet. They can send you the pictures, and you can collate them and show it as you know, get them involved in the classroom. As we said, we don't want it so teacher-centered. We want it learner-centered. Yeah. So we can make them a part of the learning process. And grammar also is many times explored through this. Many quotations are used and taught for articles, teaching articles like this one. Now, I'm not going to say this is one of my favorite pictures, because they're all my favorite pictures, it seems. But this is a very powerful picture, actually. This is a sort of picture that the students love, because it's something different.
Yeah.
Okay, it's something different. I mean, you know, how about if we get them to interview one of these guys? To interview them, maybe research about it, see why they do it, where they can do this kind of sport, how long does it take to train, how often do they do it. Practicing WH questions. They can form lots of different questions and ask and try and find the answers for. Yeah? Role plays. Do people bargain here in Morocco? Yeah. Actually, I think this one was taken in Morocco. I think this video It's taken in Morocco, and it's about a foreigner who's trying to buy something and he's bargaining as well. Do you think we could do a role play with that? Easily. It's something that they've seen on a daily basis and they can do it and have fun with it. There's lots of time it's fun because most of the times the shop owners know that they're actually bargaining. They know this is happening. So the kids will enjoy doing something like that. Guilty, guilty, guilty. How many of us are guilty of doing this? We're somewhere where instead of actually enjoying the moment of something like this, which is once in a lifetime sort of opportunity, we're just with the phone. And this could definitely provoke a lot of discussion in the classroom. You could probably have a debate with something like this. Yeah? I think a debate is perfect for a picture like this. Because, of course, the students are going to say, well, of course I'm going to take a picture. Yeah? And you could see, like, a mom saying, just look at it, enjoy it. But you can, or the teacher saying that, but they're just, and then they're taking their friends taking the picture. It just goes on, or selfies with the picture. So this could definitely create a debate in the classroom.
If it's with different ages of people.
If it's different ages of people as well, yes. Mm-hmm. And so now, what we want to do, as you know, with National Geographic Learning, we bring the world into the classroom and the classroom to life. And we're very much into teaching about cultural differences. It's very important that students are exposed to this. Okay? So we use different cultures, yes? And then we ask a question. Who is the most beautiful person? Which is the most beautiful photo, you could say? Or a question about beauty. Now, could you discuss it with your friend or someone next to you, or think about it if you don't want to? Yeah. Who would you think as the most beautiful one? Which number? And why? You have to support your answer. Yeah, have I got an answer? Does everybody agree? Which one do you think? Five. Which one do you agree?
Each one is beautiful.
You don't agree. Number 2 is also making cultural awareness. Yes? Cultural awareness. And what is beauty anyway? Especially for teenagers are so, aware of themselves and what they look like, and they feel a bit awkward and how to behave. So it's nice to show them that beauty isn't different for everybody in each one's eyes.
In the eye of the beholder.
In the eye of the beholder, absolutely. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, an artist drawing himself, yes, but for some reason he's hiding his face, yes? And this is a topic of, again, it's about what he's trying to portray that he's not. What is he hiding? Let's interview him, let's talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, to get them really engaged with images, they need to go out and be a part of it. Okay, and I've said this a couple of times. Can you take it out of the classroom? Many of them you can. Okay, many of the topics you can. Because a lot of times, to get students engaged, we need to make them feel like they're part of the learning process. So, and also, they want you to know how they feel. They really do. Kids want your attention. They want their own personal picture. They want your comment on it. And so they want to be, so these are students' photos that were given. Now, for 1 minute, because we don't have much time, I want you to look at these photos that we just talked about and see if you can remember just one thing about each one that we talked about. Are there any of those images that you don't remember anything about? Okay, so this really shows what the power of the image is. You all remembered, and hopefully you will remember for a while, because images are powerful. They're an amazing teaching tool. They're an absolutely amazing teaching tool. They elicit an emotional response from the student. They engage and interest them in the classroom. They support understanding of the discourse or the listening that you do in the class. They extend knowledge of the world, and they stimulate discussion. So every time, and they make learning last. They make the students remember them. Basically, the more you see, the more you know. When your students go home at the end of the day, when the parents always ask, if some of you are parents, and you might ask your children, what did you learn at school today? We want them to say, in our English class, we learned about this. In our English class, we learned about that. Because English is not about learning a language. It's learning about the whole world, learning about English as a lingua franca, using images to help us in class, to break the routine. Kids get bored. Do something different in class. We want to bring the world into the classroom and our classroom to life. Okay? And just before I finish, I have something very, very important. I was talking to some of the teachers outside, and as National Geographic, we have a lot to offer teachers. Not only the images, it's our great books, but also we have webinars that you can follow. Yes? They're for free. It's all for free. Take a picture of it if you want. In Focus is our website as well. All you have to do is sign up with your email, and you get everything for free. You can read articles. You can watch webinars from all over the world with teachers from all over the world. It's absolutely wonderful. And so you can please share that as well with your other friend teachers that could not come here today. So you can watch webinars at eltngl.com/webinars, or follow our blogs at eltngl.com/infocus. I hope to see you tomorrow at my plenary. Thank you very much.